Alright guys, welcome in, welcome back. It's Saturday night. We have pulse weapons being used, typhoons being steered, and all kinds of crazy stuff we're going to get into tonight. Now, I don't have none of this crap in order. I was taking a look back at all them trash bags there at Fukushima, and I'm going to show you some stuff here in just a second. We're looking at the map. We had quite a few tornado warnings that went out today. But I want to show you something. If nobody believes that they're modifying the weather, here's a interactive map that shows all the weather modification going on around the world. Now, it's not even completely all of them. It's just a handful of them. I'm going to post this link right into the chat right here. It's probably too big. No, let me post. And then I'll post it. Man, I forgot to do all kinds of stuff. I'll post it right there in the description. But yeah, you can come on here and you can click them and see what they are. Greenhouse gas removals. You know, tons of cloud seeding stuff. There's all kinds of stuff here. I've seen a bunch of ice. I haven't spent a lot of time on this. Snow, other. But yeah, you can come on here and look that they spray all over the place, even over here in Israel. Here you go, greenhouse gas removal, weather modification, Syrian rain enhancement project, extra in true cloud seeding experiment. But they're everywhere, man. Everywhere, every continent. Weather modification, Madagascar, anti-drought program. All over China. Min County weather modification operation. I mean, they're everywhere. Like, people don't think this is going on. Hey, here's your interactive map that shows that it is. Plus, you just go to your local license bureauing and find that stuff. Here's the article out of Bloomberg. This is back in 2015. Weather on demand, making it rain is now a global business. Completely going on. Every storm, there's no such thing as natural storms anymore. And I got some of these. I wanted to go back and look at that footage, and I found some old pictures here of Fukushima. But here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's some drone footage from 2015 of all the trash bags. Let me mute that. Of all the trash bags that are stored with radioactive material. Now, we know they just got hit with a typhoon. I mean, there was like 50, 60-foot waves. And so I got on Google Earth and I got on another mapping. I mean, look how high these trash bags are stacked. And when I got on, look at the trees right here. Let me pause that. Look at them trees. There's nothing left. They're just a couple dead limbs coming out of the ground. Let's see if I can expand that. Look at them trees, man. They're just gone. So yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, look at all these trash bags. These are all full of radioactive material, and you can see they're right next to the ocean. Now, I looked for this building on Google Earth with the red door, and I found it. I mean, it's just, so here is the red building, or the building with the red door. But I was just kind of scoping around on this thing, and it might be on the Google Earth. I might have to bring in the Google Earth here. But look at all these trash bags. Now, this image is supposedly from 2019. We need footage now. We need somebody with a drone, like a long flying drone, that can get around this place and see just how many of these bags are gone. It looks like they're putting bags right here on the beach for when the high tide comes in and pulls them out to the ocean. And also right down here at the reactor plant, you have a boat probably hauling the trash bags out, dumping them in the ocean. But pretty crazy here. Let me bring up the Google Earth. Alright, so here's the Google Earth. Is this the one I could go down? So this image here is 2015. So all these bags were already stacked this high in 2015. Look at the roads, man. It just got tore up from that tsunami. So, you know, look at these trash bags out here. But I mean, I was just scoping around. That's the very building right there. And if you look, man, they got these trash bags full of radioactive waste just everywhere. They're even out in the parking lots. They don't have nowhere else to put them. Look at them. They're just stacked up everywhere, right? You know, where the workers go. So insane stuff, man. Let me jump out of this. And then here's just the one on the maps. But you could actually go down on the road. If I remember how to do it here. We got a car driving by. Look at that guy right there. He's got the face thing on. And here's our stack. This is 2015 image. There's the red door back there. Surprised there's even a grass growing out here. Look at that sky. So all this stuff, we really need to somehow get some footage of what it looks like now since the storms come through. Like, most of these bags could be gone. We'd never know. Look at their cell phone towers. So yeah, man, it's a mess out here. Well, all this stuff is floating out in the ocean right now. You know, the mainstream said there was like 2,600 bags of radioactive material that went out in the ocean. I bet it's 100 times more. Anyway, just wanted to take a look at that. And I wanted to find that building, and sure enough, we found it. We found trash bags out on the beach. We can pretty much bet probably a lot of these are out in the ocean, out in the Pacific, floating in their way right on over to the West Coast. So we got some solar activity coming in. So I'm going to give you like this kind of like a aches and pain alert now for what was the dates? So the first blow, we got two big coronal holes, and the first blow isn't going to be too bad. It should be coming in around October 21st, and it's going to be solar winds around 500. Now the second blow will become on October 24th through 25th. Should be about a G1 class geomagnetic storm with auroras in the northern part of the United States. But like if you start feeling really dizzy, kind of weird, your bones hurt a little more than normal, that's probably what it's going to be. Anyway, just was taking a look at that a little early. I wanted to kind of look for some reason to see it and working. Man, my computer works fine, but nothing will click right. So coming out of the San Francisco article here, there's only 3 guys at the PG&E that decide when Californias go dark. which they say it's to stop the fires, but we know there's something much bigger going on than just the, we've seen the fires that ignited underneath these cell phone towers. The cell phone towers caught on fire. We had power lines catch on fire, even with the power off. So, there's something else going on there. Which brings me back to this old article back in 2016, before this guy was whacked. Hugo Chavez, was he right about the Hart and the Haiti earthquake? Is weather even natural anymore? Hell no, it's not natural anymore. But this guy, he spoke his mind. They called him a bad guy, but he actually, helped the people more than what they say. But he blamed the United States for all kinds of crazy stuff, like Hart. And I'm trying to find where the little part I was going to read of what he said. Let's see here. So he was the 64th president of Venezuela. And then he served as 14 years before that till his death in March 2013. They said he died of a heart attack. But others have suggested that the United States government may have played a role, and accusation quickly that denied the U.S. State Department. Now, this guy was known for speaking his mind. His comments regarding the earthquake that hit Haiti in 2010, he claimed that the United States Navy induced the Haiti earthquake using a weather weapon, accusing the United States of playing God. A Spanish newspaper quoted Chavez saying the U.S. Navy launched a weapon capable of inducing a powerful earthquake off the shore of Haiti. This time it was only a drill, and the final target is to take over Iran. Iran is the last country that they wanted to wipe out of the 7 that they had picked. So anyway, this guy ended up dead. Just good stuff to bring back, but there was something I was going to have with that. Let me see if I can find it here. Like, I didn't have anything. And here's a CNN article that came out not too long ago, how they successfully destroyed a car engine from over a mile away with the laser weapon. The laser weapon melted right through the truck engine from a mile away. So yeah, man, all these weapons are real. They've had them for a long time. They're just now coming out now. Then we know that they've already had that stuff. So I found some really old photos here of the Fukushima. I know I'm jumping around because I didn't have none of the stuff in order. So here we go. Florida issues an advisory after one confirmed case of the dengue fever. We just had this happen up in Minnesota. We're going to see more and more of this, man. They want to push the people in power. They have stakes in the pharmaceutical company, into the vaccines, into the spraying operations that they'll be spraying over your cities. So big heads up. They just did it in Minnesota. They're going to spray you guys at night, just like they did the people of Minnesota. And we got tons of this earthquake stuff that's going on over in California. So we talked about this the other night a little bit. The Garlock fault is a major fault line capable of producing a M.8 or 8.0. But they say the land is like bulging right now, and this happens to be right where the Ridgequest hit. I mean, they've had like tens of thousands of quakes there since July 4th. But now they're saying that it's actually starting to bulge. But yeah, see, they're hyping all this stuff up. They probably know something, or they're going to create something. Here's another article. San Francisco shaken by dozens of quakes. Is a major event coming? Who knows? Who knows if it'll be natural or unnatural? Now we got a couple storms. We got a storm that's going to get real close to Guam. It's going to hit the northern part, which I could have swore. Okay, here we go. So Guam is the bigger island at the bottom. I don't know why it's reloading. Hopefully the stream is going pretty good. I can't really see the chat, man. Everything I got is just kind of freaking out here. See if I can bring it where I can at least glance over to you guys. Trying to get this all down. All right, there we go. Yeah, I haven't checked email. I'm still way behind on the email here. All right, I'm just looking at stuff here. Pretty tired tonight, so anyway. So check this out. It's going to go, this is just like the last typhoon to come through here. It started out, you know, it's going to be at a 1 and go 2 right in between the islands there at Guam. We'll zoom in on that. In fact, did I close Google Earth already? I did, man. I had the KML file so I could show you exactly where it was hitting, but it's going to head up towards Japan. We don't know which way it's going to go right now. Hopefully my voice will stay together. I'm trying to drink some coffee and stuff, see if that'll help. All right, what I did, we'll look at that later. All right, so what I did a little bit earlier is I was over here on the worldview map, and I wanted to check out this storm. You know, I don't think it come out as big as they said, the mainstream said it was going to be. But they are still just seeding the crap out of this thing. And I had some really, look how fat this aerosol is being deployed. So I wanted to look at, though, is I got this other program that I rarely use. But I wanted to look at where the icing advisories were for the aircraft. So normally they won't fly, even with the de-icers on the plane. They usually try to stay away from these icing events. And what do you know? In every place that there's an ice advisory is where the chemtrails are the thickest. I mean, we got tons of planes right here just flying into the ice advisory zones where they shouldn't be flying. There's been a rash of planes that have gone down from either the de-icers not working. I mean, there was all kinds of miscellaneous problems of planes just going down over the last, 10 years or whatever. So they try to stay away from these icing events. But as you could see, it's not stopping the aerosols from being deployed in these areas. Like, we go back to yesterday where all the chemtrails were sprayed. I mean, look at this area. So all the man-made clouds turned into that. All the aerosols that were being deployed down here turned into that. Like, it's insane. So we need to go over here and look on the west coast to see what's coming. Now it's showing some rain going through California. Now I don't know if it's hitting the ground, but you can see the aerosols and stuff. Hey, thanks out there, Ricky Moore. But check this out. Look at that. The aerosols being deployed here off the northern coast of California. Part of I mean, all the way from San Francisco all the way up. But check this stuff out here. What is this thing? I mean, what kind of plane left this? There's 3 huge liners, so these guys are way up. And this is part of the storm that has the radioactive bags in it. So I find it interesting that they've been blocking all the moisture coming into California. Got ship tracks out here. Look at the microwaves out here, guys. They're microwaving the radiation. So for the whole summer, you know, they haven't been letting it rain in California. Now that we got a bunch of radioactive trash bags floating around out here, guess what? The rain is coming into California. Now, you know, it picks up a lot of that salt water. I mean, just look at the color of that. Let me see if we can click the layer, see if it comes out any. Oh, you're going to see it's all aerosols. That's why the color's so funky. Big fat liners. So just another heads up for the West Coaster. You know, not only being screwed over by a power company, you're being screwed over by all your government officials, the USDA, you know, all them companies. We got a spraying operation down here. But yeah, see, that's all drifting out. But now, by the radar map, it's showing rain. I don't know. I mean, we got to find out for the, you know, the people out there in California, is that rain coming down? Because look, well, these are the cloud top temperatures. Let me go ahead and play it. Look, it shows there should be, according to the cloud top temperatures, there should be some rain moving down through California, and there shouldn't be any rain here. They had the system blocked, but now that it maybe has some radioactive isotopes in it, maybe they're going to let the rain come through. But just pretty crazy. Now they're letting that flow get down there. See, it's showing rain in Northern California over the mountains. And maybe they are killing it off a little bit. We got a few blizzard warnings and quite a few winter storm warnings. But take a look at all the tornadic activity that hit down here. And then we have a crazy radar signature in Tennessee, real close to the New Madrid seismic zone. Now we got to keep our eyes. See, there it is. It just blinked out. Let me pause that. Now this map, I like using this map before I do all the other ones like the IntelliHub, because it has so many anomalies on it. It's just too sensitive. So when you get an anomaly like this on here, that's something. And when I show you the returns on that, you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's go check it out. So here it is. And I want you to watch this thing pulse over. It'll be after it's before this, but just watch when this begins. Don't tell me they changed it already. Man, are you kidding me? Okay. They've already updated it where it's not showing it. Man, I should have screen capped that. Alright, so when it was like this, there was a pulse that come out, and then when it got out to about 70 nautical miles, it sucked it all back in. I mean, it was crazy. Let me just make sure it's still not there. Let me get it all the way back to the beginning. So it was right at the beginning. Yeah, it should have already happened. It was before that. Man, that sucks. Alright, they already wiped it. I should have screen capped it. My bad on that. Alright, well, that's not going to help us. Wow, they've already knocked off a bunch of the tornado warnings already. So we just had a tornado warning in Georgia at 8:23 Eastern time. Couple in Georgia, Florida, tons in Florida, Ruskin, Florida, damage reported. Yeah, I thought I would definitely stay on there. Like, I just got it ready, 20 minutes ago, and now they already took off like the first 50 frames. That sucks, man. I should have knew better. Alright, we'll just get out of that because that's not going to help us. Alright, let me go ahead. We don't need that anymore. Alright, let's just go through the worldview. Let me just go ahead and add the bunker fuel, see if we have anything tonight. Yeah, normally we catch them, man. I was tired tonight. And then I got off on that stupid Google Earth thing, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta get ready. So the bunker fuel operations have been over here in the Atlantic. And I'm not seeing them. So where'd they go? Let's go back to yesterday. There's a few up there, but let's go back another day. I know they started out way down here, and then so here's where they were on the 17th. All over right here through there. This thing's really jumping around. So there they are. And then even the day before, they were right there. So their track, look, there was a few out here too. One up there. So on the 16th, they were more towards the East Coast. Yesterday, they were right there. Or 2 days ago. Yesterday. I thought we had some yesterday. How come I'm not seeing them? I mean, I see a few little ones, but nothing like the whole fleet. And then here's today. They're just not coming in. Definitely want to go check by Australia. Now, we haven't had a bunker fuel operation over here in a few weeks. But the chemtrails have picked up. And that's another thing that I have noticed. Like over in the Pacific, when you see the bunker fuel operations up here, then the chemtrails are lighter. And then the bunker fuel operations that were over in the Atlantic this time, this was like the first time this year that they've been over in the Atlantic. So, all that stuff's going to be going over to Ireland, UK, Iceland. I mean, look, they're still spraying big time up here by Greenland. We have aerosols being deployed. So the aerosols out ahead of the storms are for the steering mechanism. The aerosols into the south side and the east and west is to seed them. So we're just kind of going through. We're looking at this together because I didn't have time to get this all ready. So yeah, a little bit Wyoming. spraying over Las Vegas. Southern California is still getting a little sprays. It kind of goes up through Utah. They're just kind of seeding out ahead of that. Of course, this is all turned into from yesterday. Still doing a little spraying down there in the Cayman Islands. But right now they're seeding just real heavy out ahead of this storm. Like, I can't even believe how thick that trail is. And of course they have it stitched together right there. So yeah, see, they're really spraying. They're doing the segmented spraying, the long line spraying. They're spraying way out here. We got just liners everywhere out here in the Atlantic, all the way up. Where am I at for Bermuda here? Here's Bermuda. So we have aerosols probably being deployed right now over Bermuda, because this is where they were, and they're headed that way. We got aerosols off the coast of Delaware, Maryland. You could play some tic-tac-toe up here in the skies. Atlantic City bombarded. Look, there's 4 planes side by side. See, this is where the storm's going to track. They're going to pull it right on up. Look at the big liners in Pennsylvania. Big liners with shadows coming off them. Let's see what that turned into. Big X. So look at that. No trails. They were down here in the Washington, D.C. area through Maryland. And as it progresses, they just move the spraying operation up to the north, the way they want the storm to go. Let's go see what's going on over here in the UK. Now out here in the North Sea, this is where we've caught some of the craziest looking aerosols in figure 8 patterns. One time we caught like 20 figure 8 patterns out here. Spraying operations south of Norway. Netherlands getting pounded. Germany. Morocco getting waxed. Got an operation here on the far west side of the Mediterranean. So pretty weird spot for aerosols being deployed. Out here off the islands here, we got little segmented sprays. Look at these guys dumping just little short bursts. Little short bursts everywhere. Going right into the deserts of Morocco. Still seeding out here in Algeria. It's right in there. Maybe a little bit there in Libya. Still fires going up in the north here. So we definitely got aerosols going on there. Let's see if we can get a better shot of them. Yep, spraying all over around here. Just the time frame trying to catch them. Yeah, see, these are already drifting out. So pretty big spraying operation down here by Yemen. Some regular clouds there. We got to go look at that one area. So they still have a weather experiment program. The United Arab Emirates is still doing the weird weather program out here. So it looks like all the microwave signatures are gone. They're just doing a little spraying to the north. We'll go back a day or two to show you what I'm talking about here. I mean, this is probably one of the weirdest microwaves I've found ever. Like, you know, we know this is electromagnetic rainmaking. But yeah, man, you can't get no more blatant than this. Then you have the chemtrails, you know, they've been out here for days and days. They're real light, but it has something to do with this weather experiment that's going on. 17th, the 18th. So it looked like they might have been trying to conjure something up and just could not get it. So maybe their weather experiment did work. We got aerosols out here around Kamchatka, Russia. And look, Japan's still getting waxed, and they're still seeding the storms over here. They're really probably trying to wash away all them bags. Look, this is where that's where the typhoon's going to hit, because that's where they're spraying. Where's the typhoon at? Right here. So this typhoon is going to turn up, and if you follow the chemtrails, you follow all these trails here, that's the way they want it to go. So they're going to pull that up and around and keep it just off the coast of Japan. A little bit of frequency clouds. So what we're going to have to watch is this next storm that's developing here on this side of Guam. Now this thing's probably pretty close to Guam. Now look, there's an X. So they're fabricating this storm. Look how the color of the clouds is not right. This could be a new mixture, because these things are looking really yellow. I mean, you really got to zoom in to see the aircraft out here. So you got military aircraft. These are not commercial airplanes. Commercial airplanes are not going to fly. Very seldom they'll fly out here. What they do is they fly up over Alaska and then down around. Pilots don't want to be over the ocean this long. They want to go, this is actually a shortcut to go up and around. That way they stay closer to the land masses. We got a big spraying operation just started over northern Australia. And man, they're really laying it down. Whatever kind of plane, C-130, whatever they're using there, that's a massive trail. We also got fires. You see the fires going on. They go hand in hand, fires and chemtrails. You got the accelerants, and then the fires start. Also, over here on the west side, big aerosol spraying over Western Australia. And of course, we have the microwave frequencies. And a little bit of spraying here. Let's go check the, look, New Zealand's a little cleared up. No big aerosol deployments. It's really not coming in clear enough. Almost looks like some ground-based. Yeah, the people of Japan, man, they're getting screwed. Everybody is across the world, man. They're trying to bring in the new world order. We're all being screwed over. Every last one of them. You have the eugenics program, you know, land grabs, man-made floods, man-made tornadoes, man-made typhoons. So yeah, we'll be watching. Here's where the aerosols are. That all these storms are going to go. Look at this. They're going to train up right up this way. I bet every single day we're going to see the aerosols in the exact same spots till they change the weather pattern. Let's go ahead and check the earth null. And let me put this, okay, let me get that changed. Let's go check the earth null real quick. All right, let's go ahead and look at the polar vortex. We got to keep our eyes on this thing because this thing's going to completely shift up to the north. Look, it's getting smaller. It's starting to really wind down. Let's check the temperature. Still a big heat event. A rapid heating event's been going on forever down here. Look, it's going up and around into South America. That's probably by Rio de Janeiro right there. Actually, there's a pretty good sized heating event in the whole southern hemisphere. Just wait till the solar wind comes in. This thing's probably going to light up, and maybe light up in the north. So it's starting to die down a little bit. Look, we've been watching this slow down. Just this big wind anomaly north of the equator has been starting to wind down. And of course, the polar vortex is starting to come into formation. Now they're going to steal all this wind energy from the equator, bring it up. They're going to steal all the vortex winds down here in the southern hemisphere, and it's going to all be up here. All of it. You watch, this whole thing's going to go away. This is going to go away, and it's all going to be in the north. And that's when we'll start watching for the 500 inches of snow amounts and crazy stuff like that. I just want to check the temperatures and the humidity. Let me make sure, yeah, I didn't change that, okay. So look, the rain amounts went really down lower than what it was calling for. Let me back it up and see if it... Yeah, so just a little minute area of the heavy rain. Here's all the energy for the storms to form. Right over there in that weird anomaly zone. Here's our atmospheric river. See, there's some moisture there in California. That's where you're getting your little bit of rain. Something happened to the atmospheric river right here. Let me take that back a day. Let's go back one more day. See, they had it pretty well flat lined out. This thing should be flowing right up into the Aleutian Island chain or somewhere up here in Alaska or BC. This thing is being pushed down, being forced down. So a little hunk broke off. It's kind of getting into California, which they need the rain. Now look, this is starting to go back to its normal position for this year. It's starting to go up through the Midwest. And this was what I was talking about, man. If the same models keep happening, man, there's going to be some mega snowstorms this winter. I mean, we're talking feet of snow. So the pressure is actually starting to lower. Let's go ahead and check for any kind of wave anomalies. Here's our two typhoons. Check our sea surface temperatures. Much love out there, guys. So see, really there wasn't no like in the purple heat out here. Now these cyclone events should be cooling the oceans down because it's stirring up all the water. Let's go look where the typhoons are. I can't believe it don't show Guam on here in this map. So there's, you know, a little hot water. Oh, here's Guam right there. Now it disappeared. Okay, there it is. So right where this one's forming, there is some pockets of the super hot water. But you can see the water should already be cooled down. These typhoons shouldn't even be really very strong because the water has already been mixed up. Just another sign that they're manipulating. We'll see the sea surface temperature anomalies. We can see here off of Fukushima, it's all super hot, still heating the Arctic, the Bering Sea, and we still got this mess up here. Now what I want to do is look at the currents. So if these bags got washed up and out into sea, look, they're just going to kind of float around. You know, if the wind takes them up, but it's going to get out here. We'll just see if they keep cycling that stuff around. I do see something good down here, though. See how the currents are starting to loop back in through the Gulf. This is going to help with all that algae bloom problems and stuff like that. Because they had it like blocked off, man. Like they wouldn't let the currents go in here. They were like stagnating the water. So here's the CO2 partial pressure. Wonder why there's so much pressure right there of the CO. Here's the sea air CO2 flux density. You know, if they were trying to create an El Nino, this is where they do it, but we could see by the temperatures that's not what they're doing. Wow, look at the hey, thanks out there, Iron Man. Yeah, bunker fuel. Yeah, here, I can explain bunker fuel. I mean, one good way is you could just type in bunker fuel or ship tracks in the Google search engine, and it'll tell you what it is. But like normally we see these real long straight lines. This is the sulfur dioxide. Now most ships, like the cargo ships, they put off tons of sulfur. That's why we see these long straight lines. I mean, you look at them, they're everywhere. Like here's a really bad one that goes up and down. Then you got the lighter colored ones, but you can just go all over the world. And all these long straight sulfur lines, these are the shipping lanes. These are where the ships go across, and they leave such heavy metal particles from the sulfur that they, you know, this mode can pick it up. But the problem is the bunker fuel. This is different. Like it's for the weather modification ships. They definitely use bunker fuel, and it's like the most toxic emissions on the planet. It's like the leftovers from refining fuel and diesel. It's like sludge, and they have to heat it to get it to go through the lines, to get it to burn. Now there's regulations on all this, but they ease the regulations, the IPC, because they said it's helping with the global warming. It's called cloud brightening. It's brightening the clouds to help reflect the sun. And you know, they call it accidental geoengineering, but it's like the low level. So what they're doing, I'm still trying to figure out the bunker fuel. When we see them in the big formations out here, wherever we see them, then something major always happens. It's either some kind of weather pattern change, or we see fires, or we see an earthquake, or we see typhoons, we see hurricanes. I mean, every single time. But you could go, you know, months out here with no bunker fuel operations, and one day they just start hitting it hard and heavy. And normally they're doing it in the low pressures. Like if we go back here, and let me just put the bunker fuel back on, then we can go back, try to remember, back around the 1st, I think, before the fires. Yeah, it might take me a second to find them. Well, here, I can just type in bunker fuel or ship tracks. You know, first at NASA said that it wasn't doing anything, and then I made a bunch of videos, and then they come back out saying, oh yeah, it's accidental geoengineering. But here's what they look like on the maps. See if we get a bigger photo. Now I use the 3.7 microns. It kind of pulls it out a little better. So here, yeah, see, this is kind of like the color, but they're saying they're cloud droplets. This is the natural color. This is what they look like. They start at a point, and then they billow out, and they're always in like a formation like this. And we see them, you know, like I said before, any kind of different things. Let's see what they say right here. This was March 4th, 2009. The skies over the Northeast Pacific Ocean were streaked with clouds that form around particles in ship exhausts. These are the ship chemtrails. Now the pair of the images shows these ships natural. Okay, we don't need all that. So the cloud droplets form when water vapor condenses or nucleates into a small particle, like an aerosol particle produced from fossil fuel combustion or sea salt crystal from the ocean surface. The more numerous of the nucleation, the more numerous the cloud droplets. See, basically, this is a chemtrail from the ocean. I mean, that's exactly what it is. I mean, they call chemtrails contrails. They call cirrus clouds, you know, like it's normal, but it's not. If you didn't have aircraft traffic, you would not have cirrus clouds. Your local meteorologist calls them high, thin clouds. He calls them filtered sun. He'll call them anything but what they really are. What they really are is a chemical reaction of water vapor, but it's sticking to the heavy metal particulates like aluminum, barium, strontium, lithium, you know, fiber, polymers, plastics, and all that stuff. So hopefully that helped you out there on the ship tracks. Let me get it back on now. What? It must be another one. We have a wasp problem right now. They're trying to sneak into our house. The missus got blasted in the arm yesterday, swelled up like a balloon. We got it fixed though. She's good today. You know, you can't really filter these particles out. Like if you go, we look at these PM10s. This is particulate matter. You got the PM2.5s, and then you got the deadliest, which is the PM1s. Now, if you just go to like Wikipedia or something, or search PM2.5s, this is like your air quality. Fine particulate matter. Okay, here we go. Particulates Wikipedia. This will explain the particulates. Okay. The atmospheric aerosol particles, atmospheric particulate matter, or suspended particulate matter are microscopic solid or liquid matter suspended in the air. But when you get down here and start reading about them, atmospheric particles include suspended particle matter. Or let me go down a little farther here. Okay. The airborne particulates, a group 1 carcinogen. Particulates are the most harmful from the air pollution due to their ability to penetrate deep into the lungs and the blood streams unfiltered, causing heart attacks, respiratory disease, premature death. European countries revealed that there was no safe level of particulates. The lung cancer rate rose 22%. The smaller PM2.5s, hey, thanks out there, plays in the dirt, were particularly deadly, with a 36% increase in lung cancer. They can penetrate deep into the lung. Worldwide exposure to PM2.5 contributed to 4.1 million deaths from heart disease, stroke, lung cancer, chronic lung disease, respiratory infections in 2016. So this is what we're talking about. This is the particulate matter. And we see it coming out from the dust of the Saharas. Like when you go to the I showed it on the Earth now, but here's a little better look on it here. Now here's all the Sahara dust. When you look at this, and I'll show you on the let me get this to play just so you can see. We get all this dust coming in from the Saharas. It's finally backing off now because the winds are starting to die down, but this stuff's been taking on a straight beeline right up in through the Gulf of Mexico. If you check your rain gauges and you get like yellow or reddish sand in the bottom of your rain gauge, it's this. It's the particulate matter. Now these are the PM1s. These, like, there's a bunch coming off the fires up here. These are the most deadliest. This is why you're coughing and hacking. Then you go up a little bit bigger, the 2.5s. And then you can get up to the PM10s. I mean, these are the bigger of the nanoparticulates. They're all nanoparticulates, but if you just kind of go back, we probably have to go back like 2-3 weeks. We just go back like to the beginning of the month, see where it was. You had that, poison typhoon or poison hurricane. But we've been getting inundated with this stuff, and then, people don't know why they're sick. It's coming from this stuff. And then the chemtrails. The chemtrails are the same thing. They're particulate matter. So anyway, guys, there you go. All about ship tracks. Bunker fuel you can type in and it'll tell you, it's real thick and they got to heat it and all that stuff. All right, let's go ahead and see what kind of spraying operations we pick up. Look at it. You can see here all Out here is where they're really heavy spraying. We see the spraying there off of California and the spraying in the Midwest. You notice it's where the icing zones were on the map. See, they're adding particulates into the sky, into the stratosphere, creating an icing event for the planes, even though the planes are making the particulates. Let's see if I can jump in down here. We need a little bigger than that. I don't know if this will get it. Let's try it. Now you're going to be seeing how they are spraying out ahead of these storms. This may not get us out here far enough. We'll see. You know, your local meteorologists, they won't talk about this stuff. They're so full of crap. They're just little peons. Couldn't get a real job, so they just read a script and lie. Yeah, you can see it's a little bit farther off the coast. Weird stuff going on down there. Let's look at Northern California. We know they're getting blasted right now with all kinds of aerosols. Yeah, a mask really isn't going to help you. Now, I just had to do a 10-hour OSHA class, and they talked about the mesothelioma and all that. And it's the same thing as these particulates, man. They get right into the bloodstream. The crazy thing is these little asbestos particulates and all that stuff. It could take 20 years before you get signs of the cancer. So, yeah, huge X's out there. I mean, look at the size of this X right here. So you got aerosols being deployed all over the place out here. See, they started the spraying operation out here off the coast. And wham, they just keep hitting it, keep hitting it, keep hitting it. There's the big, long, straight clouds we've seen. They weren't clouds. Look, there they are up there. Them are all monster plane tracks. We got a better way to... We'll see if we can pick up... Sometimes we can get the bunker fuel on this layer and not the worldview map. So basically, every bit of this is man-made from the planes right now. And then sometimes we get the ship tracks in there with it. Usually they really stand out on this one. Let me speed that up. Yeah, man, there's like not one ship track out here. But they were like out here all last week. Now we're just seeing aerosols by the planes.